Hello guys, and welcome to the Sales and Leadership channel. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about something that is very important as you develop as a leader, and that is authenticity. So the definition of authenticity is not a copy or genuine. And if you want to be a really great leader and have big followings, you've got to be authentic, you've got to be yourself. And we have some tips today. We've actually got 6 tips on how you can be more authentic as a leader. And the more authentic you are, the more you're going to attract people to your business, the more you're going to have that stickiness. And also, as a leader, you've got to think differently to the people in your team. You've got to think further, spot things before other people. And if you're going to make some pretty hard decisions, you're normally going to have to go against the trend. And if you're not authentic or genuine, you're probably not going to go against the trend by definition. So we're going to talk about that today. So the first one we're going to look at when you're looking at leadership and authenticity is vulnerability. Now that might seem like a funny one to start with, but if you think when you're watching this now, whoever's watching this video, you're genuinely and completely unique. There is no one else like you in the world. But if you don't show who you are and your vulnerabilities, who's going to know those special qualities about you? And we actually had this year's been a really challenging year for us as a business. We had some incredibly bad news around about February time. We were connected to a big group. The big group got into a lot of trouble, and that trouble landed on us, which was very, very challenging. That was, let's say, January, February. We're getting through, trying to re-engineer the business to get us back on track. And then March comes and we get punched with Corona. We were not expecting that one, very challenging. And there's a company in Dusseldorf. This is when we realized this could be quite bad. A company in Dusseldorf, Ernst & Young, I'm sure you all know it. They had 1 case of Corona and they sent everybody home. And we thought at that stage, okay, this could be really serious. Then we had the lockdown, and then just after the lockdown, we had 10 of our clients. Most of the work we did was with 10 customers. They all went on an instant hiring freeze. So 90% of our customers completely said, we aren't hiring for the foreseeable future until we know what's going to be happening with Corona. And then we called some of the other clients that maybe the top 20. I'd say probably out of the top 20 clients, 95% of them said instantly, we aren't hiring anymore. We don't need anyone. We don't know what's going to happen with Corona. That's a really tough situation to be in if you're a recruitment company and you have to find people and put them into improve their positions and put them into better jobs when everyone's concerned about safety. So that was really tough. So what we had to do there, I didn't have all the answers, nobody did. But the one thing I did know is I couldn't do it by myself. So I got the office around and the team around, and we said, the only thing I know is that we're going to get through this. But how we get through it, I don't know yet. We're going to have to create a plan together. But one thing I do know as well, if we're going to get through this, I need your support and I need your help. This is going to be a really tough time for me, my business partner, the leadership team, everyone here. If we don't pull together, we're not going to get through it as strong as we should. So guys, I need your help. Can I rely on you? And that little vulnerability wasn't a lot, but it showed the guys that I needed them. We need each other. And that gelled the team together, and we re-engineered the business. We completely re-engineered one division, which now is doing really well. And we had to re-engineer the other side of the business, but very difficult. Each week, new customer comes on board, then that customer goes out of business, or that customer says they can't hire, or there's been a hiring freeze. So literally on a daily basis, our business model was changing. But we showed vulnerability. The guys knew we were going to get through this together, and I asked for their help, and that really helped. So the next one is, so you've shown a bit of vulnerability, that's a human side, that's what makes you a little bit different. The next one is, and this is very difficult when you're a young leader or just stepping into leadership, is to admit when you're wrong. So if you don't admit when you're wrong, people know it. You might think, oh, I've got away with that. They didn't realize I made a mistake. But believe me, your team, your guys, the people around you will know when you're wrong and you know when you've made a mistake. So the best thing to do is admit it, and admit it fast and openly. And I had this, last week I had a management meeting, and one of the areas I need to work on myself is acknowledgement, acknowledging the guys and giving them more credit for the great work they do. I've identified this as a definite problem for myself. And the meeting we had last Friday, I could sense that the guys didn't realize how much I genuinely appreciated them as people and as work colleagues. So on the Monday morning, I just said, hey guys, we had the meeting last week and we didn't say this explicitly, but I just want to say there's an area that I need to improve, and that's acknowledgement. I'm always going for the next thing and we're trying to be the best, and where it's always more. And I need to step back more and say, guys, you're doing a great job. And I just want you to know that I really genuinely think you're great guys doing a fantastic job. And we're going to have a great time together. So I do apologize. I made some mistakes, and moving forward, I'm going to be acknowledging you way more. So thanks for your patience. And as I was talking like that, again, it was a little bit of vulnerability, admitting you're wrong. And you could see the guys were like genuinely, because they knew it was from the heart and it was real, they genuinely sort of changed their mood and they were a little bit more energized. And it was like, okay, thanks. You know, like everyone likes to get acknowledgement. And that was a really nice piece. So it was admitting you're wrong and showing the vulnerability really helped that. The next one is going to be really helpful when you're going to be leading a team. Just think back to the last time you had felt energized after a conversation. So the last time that you went to a party or at a dinner party or you were at a bar and you walked away from someone, you felt more energy. Why do you think that was? What was the bit that made you more energized? And what you'll probably think, or what you'll probably realize is that person was genuinely interested in you. So they had energy because they were building on your conversation, they were listening, and they had a genuine interest in you as a person and genuine interest in what you were doing in your life. And you came away and thought, oh, that was a nice conversation. That guy or that girl's really cool. They're really listening to me, and you feel good. Leadership is exactly the same. Now, this is very challenging if you're not genuinely interested in the people who work in your team. It's going to be a bit of a tough one. And I'd suggest if you're not interested in people and you don't care about people, maybe leadership is something that you might want to put on the side, because if you're going to be a good leader, most of the time you're making long-term decisions. You've got to be very selfless. And if you're in it for the short term to make short-term wins, it's definitely not the route for you. So be genuinely interested in someone. What are their habits? What are their interests? What are they really good at? What they do in their free time? Have they got a family? Have they got a wife? What's the wife's name? What's the children's name? When are their birthdays? With a genuine interest, it gives you a different element, and it proves to your team that you are interested in them as a person. Again, that just adds to your authenticity. You're not a copy, you're genuine, and you're genuinely interested in other people that are around you. So I think that's a really important one, genuine interest. Another one that is also important as well is a book. Now, I can't remember the author, but the book is something along the lines of bring your whole self to work. And that's really important, because if you don't do that, you come across as a fake. Now, for me, I'm in the office normally at 7:30, and I'll finish at 8:30 most nights. So I'm in the office a long time, and we have guys, particularly people who are the top performers, they put in some big shifts trying to help our customers to attract the best staff. It's a really hard job. But if I don't bring myself to work, there's gonna be, again, there's no connection there. So for example, I love music, I love playing guitar, I love 70s music, I like great wine, and I'll let people into my little world, if you like, and show a little bit of me. I don't show them everything. I'm not going out there gossiping about what I did in the weekend or going into any details, but just showing a little bit about who you are, and also your flaws and your vulnerabilities we mentioned before. But bring yourself to work. You know, people have got to see you as a real human being, as a person. Otherwise, they're not going to see you as authentic, and they're probably not going to want to follow you in the long term, or they might follow you because they have to, but they won't follow you because they want to. And that's a stark contrast. That's a really big difference. Another one as well is energy and fun. If you are walking around the office, or you have a Skype call, or whatever media you use for your video calls, and your team members, now obviously if it's a very crucial conversation, it might not be appropriate, but 9 times out of 10, if the person hasn't come off the phone feeling more energized and had a fun spirit injected into them, you've probably not done your job right. Now, this doesn't mean being on the call, cracking some jokes and being a clown. It's not about that. It's about bringing energy and positivity and fun. So that could be, let's say you're in a recruitment company and you've got a sales team and it feels a little bit quiet in the office. You can throw a little few competitions in there. Hey guys, the next person who does X gets a free meal in this nice hotel, or just a competition for competition's sake. Hey, who's going to be the winner of this competition? And it can be something as small as a Nocco or a Lucozade or whatever it is. People love competition, but those little things, your job as a leader is to energize and give confidence. Confidence and energy really help you to do your job to the best. So again, energy and fun at work. There's a very well-known CEO, probably the most famous leadership guru in the world would be Jack Welch. I'd say John Maxwell and Jack Welch are probably the number one, the best in the industry. And Jack Welch says, have any excuse to bring out a birthday cake. So he was always looking to acknowledge people. Again, something I need to work on personally, but he was looking for that excuse to have a bit of fun, to celebrate someone, to acknowledge them. Maybe it was a promotion or someone just had a great day at work. He was always looking for how you can celebrate and reward the team. So how can you do that? And again, that's linked into energy and it's linked into fun. So how can you inject that energy and fun into the business? So that's 5 areas. We're going to go on the 6th one, which I actually think has the most impact out of all the other 5, and that is believing in people. To really see something that they don't see in themselves, highlighting it, and tell them how much you believe in them. It can have a huge impact on someone's life. And I remember myself when I was younger, going back a long time now, almost, I'll tell my age, about 30 years ago. I used to love football, and we were talking with the coach about who the best player was on the team. And I was saying, it's this guy called Andrew Knox, who was like a striker. And at that stage, it was never in the realm of possibility that I would be one of the better guys in the team. And my coach turned around to me, a guy called Mr. Smith, and he said, Paul, you're the best player on the team. And you're easily the best player on the team. It's not by a small margin. And I literally couldn't believe what he'd said, because I didn't see myself like that. I just knew I tried really hard and I loved it. But he was so serious. Like, you are the best player on the team. Did you not know that? And I was like, wow, and that stuck with me for a really long time. That's the first time someone had given me that impression that maybe I was really good at something. And how many times could you do that at work? But this links to a lot of the other previous modules about observation. Great leaders observe, they listen, they spot things that other people don't see. They see the little things that someone does, and that little thing could grow into something really special. But if you spot that and you build them up and you give them that belief, you can really see someone flourish and turn into something really special. And there's a story I've got about this. A guy I met, which is going back now, 2015, maybe 2016. It was a really hot summer's day, a little bit like it is now. I was really hungry. Went down to the food area. There's like a restaurant area in Dusseldorf, and all of the places were busy. There was nobody There was no spaces at all, huge queues, except for one restaurant, and it looked horrendous. It was like the worst restaurant in Europe, and there was no one there, except for one guy who's the guy working behind the counter. Obviously, it didn't look like the most appetizing place, but my hunger overpowered that, and I went and ordered some food. Now, the guy behind the counter, let's just say he wasn't the most presentable chap in the world. A little bit scruffy, clothes weren't looking very good, and had a big had like a sort of a beard that wasn't very well groomed, and no one would really look at him and say, this guy's going to be a leader, this guy's got something unique or special. But as I had my order, and the way he was talking, how his eyes were and his energy, I saw something in this guy. I saw something very different and something unique. And he's actually a very, very, very smart guy. So he delivered the food, and as he was about to go, I said, hey, have you ever thought about working in sales in an office? And he sort of looked sort of shocked / surprised, but a slight disappointment. And he said, well, yeah, I'd love to, but no one would give me a chance. I don't have an education here. I don't have a traineeship, and no one's ever said that I could do it. And I said, well, listen, I think you can do it. I've got a very specific job in mind for you. Why don't you come to the office next week? We'll sit down, I'll talk through the job. I'll do it first, you can listen to me do it, then you can do it, see how you feel, and if you like it, then let's make this a full-time job. How does that sound? He was like, really, are you being serious? I was like, yeah, I'm being serious. So he came to the office and we did this role play. So it's a sales area, and we did a role play. I did it first, he listened, and then I gave it to him, and I gave the script to him, and he was so nervous. If you were to meet him now, there'd be no way you would ever think this guy was ever nervous. But he was holding the script and he was talking like this, and he literally shaking. He couldn't get the words out. Even despite that, I thought there was something, I just had a feeling this guy would be something unique. So we tried again. I got him in to do a trial day, and during that trial day, he got more confident. And now this guy is one of our senior leaders within the business, and the value he's brought to the company is massive. And it's from that one thing, someone spotting something that no one else did, and that is believing in people and genuinely seeing something different. Again, that all links to authenticity. So if you're managing a team or you're about to manage a team, how do you spot those special qualities in someone? Are you aware of them? And when you do see it, can you visualize, okay, that guy's good at that, or that girl's good at that. How can we build on that? And then you'll test to see if that is a genuine skill and believe in them. And that's something that I feel is one of my strengths, as I see amazing things in people, probably because I've had to go through a journey myself. I've had to train myself to get to that level. I started from a very low point. I've had to train and push myself and dedicate myself to get to a pretty good level when it comes to leading a recruitment business, certainly. So when I see some of those qualities in myself, I had to push boundaries, and I know they can do it. I'm very vocal about that, and I believe in them. And what you tend to find is, it's great to find someone who's who's not someone you would normally think would be very successful. You give them the compliments, you give them the belief, and you see them a year later. It's the most liberating, amazing thing to see someone change how they are and how they behave through something that you spotted in them, and a little bit of belief, a little bit of encouragement can change someone's life completely. So how can you do that next week or today if you're going to be leading someone? Or you're about to lead a team, think about how you can do that. So that's it, guys. That's the Sales and Leadership channel. That was on authentic leadership.